Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Now, what franchise do you think of when you think first-person shooter? Might think Battlefield, Halo, Counter-Strike, Doom. The game that can run literally anything now. If you were to say first-person shooter franchise to me, I think Call of Duty. This game has had so much influence in gaming today with games such as COD 4, Black Ops, and World at War on the DS. Yes, I do in fact actually own this. Anyways, we're not reviewing any of those. We're going back in time to the first Call of Duty game. The game that started all, COD 1, or COD Classic if you're a console player. Anyways, let's begin. Before we start, I'd say subscribe as I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers at the end of the year. Wait, so watch the review now. So before Call of Duty, Medal of Honor was pretty much the main World War II shooter franchise. And at that time, Medal of Honor Auto Assault were released a year earlier in 2002. And a small group of developers split up and created Infinity Ward and created Call of Duty. Now I've played Medal of Honor Auto Assault, but that's a video for another day. And let's begin with the first part of the campaign now, the first third of it.
I'm doing weapons training today. Before starting the obstacle course, read each of these important signs and do what they tell you.
We first open up the training section where we do typical tasks such as shooting, grenade throwing, crouching, and bomb placing.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Swag Messiah.
I think this is a very good training level which showcases the controls very well with crouching and gunplay. The first level opens up to you parachuting down into St. Miraculous, a very critical town in the actual war. I like the fact the first enemy you actually face in the game, you don't even have to put up a fight with, you can just shoot him in the back of the head. Using the radio in one of the rooms just adds life to the game and the environment. I then found this guy just hanging from a tree, lifeless and dead. But at least the guy is M1 Garen. In the case of this bunker, like the addition of the German soldiers playing checkers while having a conversation. Just adds life to the environment and the game. Then I threw a raid in there.
In here!
Like after I place the beacon, every single soldier just falls down and combat starts to begin. Like the overall chaos at the beginning of this level, you know, where you're just sitting behind a wall and there's a machine gun and you have to shoot it in order to even advance. The next level, just throw into combat with nothing but your weaponry. I like the sound of the Stuka just flying down. It just adds life to it and immersion. Level after it, to defend the town from tanks and enemies, which can appear from literally anywhere. They climb over walls. Following level puts you in a car with just one giant bullseye for the Germans. Like the action just doing a drive-by and shooting. Now please do not take that out of context. The dialogue between Moody and Elder is just fucking hilarious.
Oh, hey, great. Good move. Remind me to thank the captain.
Shut up, Elder, and get your ass out. Let's go, Martin. Move it, move.
The next level places you in trenches with Germans being at literally every single corner. I really like the close quarters combat in this level. And when you get to you get to a machine gun which reminds you of tower defense, kind of like, you know, I don't know any tower defense games, but let me know if you know any. Next level takes place at night. You have to invade a mansion to retrieve a person who's trapped in a cell. This mission just feels straight out of Medal of Honor. Probably because a lot of the developers in this game worked on Medal of Honor Auto Assault. I also really like the set pieces level shows this piece of armor right here. After we get the person we need, who is influential in later COD games. In the next level, you get to a POW camp to rescue another person. This is probably the weakest level in the American campaign. Don't get me wrong, I like the setting, but the AI is just not made for this level. A little later in the game, places you what I assume is the Battle of the Bulge, which is one of the deadliest battles in the war. To clear up bunkers and destroy tanks, which marks the end of the American campaign. Now, I've been talking about the American campaign like it was a perfect masterpiece, but I'll now address some flaws. The campaign feels very safe as in trying not to offend anyone. Some missions just drag on. Levels are repetitive, and a lot of these actions are just you placing explosives on artillery. Overall, I give the US campaign a solid 7.5 out of 10. The first level puts you in an airplane where you're waiting to land with your fellow soldiers. It's unfortunate when they can't stop sneezing.
actually move.
You eventually make a crash landing in France. They eventually had to take over Pegasus Bridge and shoot a German tank of flat gun. In the following level, you have to defend the bridge from a German force which very much outnumber yours. To add salt to the wound, there are constantly tanks coming over trying to kill you. This goes on for about 10 minutes until reinforcements come. These two missions are a strong start to the British campaign. I wonder what's next. Oh shit. The next level, called Eater Dam, you are a lone wolf trying to plant explosives in this so-called dam, which is based off the Eatersea Dam in Germany. Now, this level is definitely the hardest level in the game. A huge cortisol spiker, if you will. Took me a long submission, around 25 minutes in length. You're the only person you have to seem like, what? A legion of the German army. You're a long dam. At the end of the level, I've got to place one of the explosives, trying to go all the way back down to place it again. On my way back up, I died. Trying to do it twice. Next level was also hard as you're in the back of a truck trying to defend yourself against the German army, which is chasing you, by the way, with trucks. You have to shoot them with rockets. It's a shame the guy next to you, Sergeant Waters, wastes a lot of the rockets, and he misses every single shot. This next level, go to the airfield where you're very vulnerable while you shoot Stukas down. There are Germans on rooftops just shooting at you. You have to get off the anti-aircraft gun, shoot them. Planes keep coming down. You just go back to aircraft gun and continue shooting the Stukas. I don't get it. In the next level, you have to go onto a German ship, and let me say, this is probably the best level in the British campaign, as I like the close quarters combat and the overall setting of it being on a boat instead of a field or village. I like how it added variety to it. The latter levels, a new British mission shows up where you have to destroy German missiles. When you get to the bunkers, I like the close quarters combat a lot too, like I did with the ship level. I also like the premise of taking down missiles instead of placing down anti-aircraft guns. However, this mission is so hard. Anyways, I'd give the British campaign a solid 5 out of 10. You might wonder, it makes it a 5 out of 10. Many of the missions revolve around stealth, which the AI is just not made for. This is very apparent in the Eater Dam level, and many of the objectives are repetitive, just placing explosives.
My heart is cold. My moves are...
This day will be the proudest day you have ever lived.
The first mission opens up with you on a boat to cross the Volga River. What the fuck? The first mission opens up with you on a boat to cross the Volga River, with one of the officers reading a speech out. You must not go one step backwards. I like the officer's passion in the speech.
Courage! Victory is ours! We shall stop the fascist invaders! There!
And the sounds of explosion really adds to the atmosphere just opening.
Will be shot!
And then a little later, Stukas come down to flying, and then after that one, many of them come down and attack the boat and actually kill a few of your fellow comrades. One of your soldiers tries to escape and gets shot to death by one of the officers. Music also really adds to this mission very much. Just give it a listen. I remember when I was 12 experiencing this opening for the first time on the PS3. I hadn't played anything like COD 1 at the time. I didn't play a World War II game before that either. I was so used to playing games like GTA 4 and Roblox. This opening mission was like nothing I've ever experienced before in a video game. I remember genuinely getting goosebumps at this opening. Gets to the shore and your boat literally explodes from an attack, removing all your fellow soldiers except for you. You have to get in line for a rifle and ammo, only to get ammo. You then get hit by a bunch of crates and go through what I think is shell shock. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. You then have to go to a sniper who guides you to not get shot by telling you to run into certain things in his command. The things in question are vehicles. He then makes you run all the way down to a withered building where he then shoots a Russian officer. Then artillery is shot on the machine gunners after this officer's lead begging for it. In the following level, you're placed in Red Square where the officer tells you once again, not one step backwards. You're then charged to the enemy where you then pick up a rifle off the floor since you didn't get a rifle back when you were in line. Now, charging was scary without a rifle at first. Maybe you died, but we're getting inside the house 3 times. Let me say, I actually really like the urban combat at this level with the destroyed buildings and snipers on one of the windows. The next level puts you in a train station with 2 other soldiers. Wow. Phrasing out because you literally started out with so many in Stalingrad and Red Square. Now it's just 2 soldiers. But as you enter the train station, it's very hard because there's a machine gun to pick off and 2 sides of Germans on each wall. After you leave the train station, you have to fight through a path full of many Germans and so much gunfire. At least this part's way easier though, I'll admit that. Next level places you in a sewer, and the first thing you hear is the PA, who's a German, trying to get you to surrender.
Soviet Union, there is no need for this senseless bloodshed between our nations. The German people are not your enemy. If you surrender, you will be treated well. You will be given plenty of good hot food and warm clothing, and if wounded, proper medical treatment.
I really like this level due to the combat in the newer settings, such as the sewer. The next level, take this house, which seems like an easy task. So you realize the Germans are fighting like hell to keep this house. First to pick off snipers, which is easy enough, but then comes the hardest part, actually invading the house. There are many artillery strikes that you want at the house. Even getting the lawn for the house is difficult, as the German machine guns are really strong. And then when you get in, you have to defend the house for like 5 minutes, and there are tanks constantly shooting at you. But thankfully, the anti-tank rifle is here to save the day. And then the Russian artillery reinforcements, thankfully. The next level is Factory, which takes place in, you guessed it, a factory. A tank factory specifically. The next level is a railroad. Pretty much all of my comrades died while trying to get past the tracks. Okay, so far I'm really liking this campaign. Hopefully the next missions aren't that bad. Oh, shit. Yep, the dreaded tank missions. I do not like these missions for a variety of reasons. Number 1, they suck. Number 2, the controls simply do not work. What the fuck is this? They're not designed to be fun at all. The design for the missions aren't fun. They suck. But thankfully, the mission after this, the last mission of the entire game, makes up these 2 terrible sections, right? The next level places you in the Battle of Berlin, where you have to take over the Reichstag, the German parliament building. This battle was very consequential in the war. At the end of this mission, you finally get to the top of the Reichstag, and the Soviet flag waves. Then the game ends with the Russian protagonist writing to his mother about how the war is officially ended. This credit sequence is actually very cool. Instead of, being a black screen with just white text scrolling, has like your American guy just running through battlefields. I actually like this one. I'd give the Soviet campaign a solid 8.5 out of 10. It would have been a 9 out of 10 if it weren't for those fuck-ass tank missions.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion.
So now we need to talk about the most important part, the gameplay. Oh god, this game is from 2003 and it shows. The AI is tended one direction when shooting. There are also health packs with no regenerating health. And finally, there is no sprinting.
Say wallahi, bro, say wallahi.
I actually really like the levels in this game, so the gameplay. I actually also really like the reload animations. I'm going to show you some of them. So for the entire review, I've played this game on the PC, but didn't show anything about the console version, even though they are extremely identical. But it is a massive difficulty gap. On the PC version, failure rate by difficulty on hard is it give it a solid 5 to 6 out of 10, but on console I gave it a solid 8 to 9 out of 10. The PS3 version was so difficult for me, especially Eater Dam, Square, and Rocket. I actually had the Platinum Trophy for the game, which meant I had completed in regular, hard, and veteran. I played on regular and thought it was insane and difficult on PS3. Imagine my horror when I played on veteran. It was the worst thing of all time. They also have trophies such as Bulletproof, which requires you to take no damage during a level. Golden Club, which requires you to complete a level with only melee attacks. Pea Shooter, which requires you to get a level with only pistol kills with no melee attacks. And Gunslinger, which requires you to get kills with a pistol, rifle, submachine gun, and grenade in a mission without dying. Bro, what am I looking at? How have you been playing games in this thing? Look at all these buttons! Oh yeah. God won for this abomination. Who the fuck was playing this? This game looks so bad. I know it's on a phone from early 2000s, but still. Just look at this. Who came up with this idea? Yeah, it's to COD on the N-Gage. A failure of a console. Alright, so here's my final verdict. While it does have a good story, especially the Soviet one, the British one was just so weak that I single-handedly put the game down. The gameplay mechanics are outdated. but they're pretty good for their time. And sound design's also really good, same with the weapons. Overall, I'll give the game a solid 7.5 out of 10. Goodbye.